Maclean Fish, good to see you again, my friend. Welcome back to Popternative.
It's amazing to be back.
It's crazy. New episodes of Shoresy on Christmas Day on Crave, which is really exciting. Okay, so it's interesting because when you're first given that opportunity to kind of join Shoresy as Jory Jordan, this kid reporter and everything, you're just it's an opportunity. You go in and everything, you do it. You're just thinking about the character and everything. You're not thinking about more than that. But there's got to be these thoughts in your mind of like, if I were to return with this character, there's a lot of cool things that could happen, a lot of opportunities. Do you think about that at all of it?
Oh, every time I get a new script, before I open it, I'm thinking in my head, what is going to be in here? But yeah, and I'm surprised every single time. Like I think, especially with when season 4 came out and Jory was kind of off his podcast, off his interviews, and kind of in the real world with Shoresy, that was very new and very cool to play with. And there's a little bit more of that in this new season, kind of doing new things, seeing Jory in different lights and stuff like that. And so yeah, no, it's always a surprise every single time, and I'm always pleasantly surprised every single time when I do read those scripts.
I feel like it's a little bit of a two-headed monster when you get scripts for Shoresy because you as an actor, you want to kind of focus on like what Jory's up to a little bit and make sure you're prepared for that. But then you're also like interested in like what's going on this season with Shoresy and the team and the Bulldogs and everything. And I do feel like those are two different things in a lot of ways. Or do you see it as one big thing when you're preparing? Because there's your
No,
stuff and the storylines, right?
very, very separate. I've always been that way, and I try to do that kind of on every project that I do. Um, and I honestly, at the very beginning of the show, like first couple seasons, I didn't even really read the rest of the script because I wanted to keep it separate. But then once I got very comfortable with the character and I was more interested in other things and what's going on, like how's everybody else doing, I started reading them more but I have a really hard time watching myself, so I rarely watch the show. I see clips of myself and I see clips of the show, and I know what's going on, and I obviously read the full scripts now, so I know everything that's going on. But yeah, I tend to keep them very separate. And I think that works with the character because the character is very isolated a lot of the time. Now in later seasons, he's become more integrated into the whole show, but especially at the beginning, he was very kind of just little skits here and there, very separate from everything else that was going on. But yeah, very separate.
Absolutely. Can you brought it up a little bit in the beginning of this interview, where the show at some point, like it is a hockey show when it first starts, and then there's kind of like off seasons like focuses and like it's not about hockey at times. Can you take me through whether it was of Jared or someone else, like the first conversations that you had, even if it was kind of on the day while you were filming, like when you found out, or like any conversations about it kind of leaning towards the off season and maybe not being focused on hockey at times. Can you talk about that a little bit?
I had no idea whatsoever. But I mean, I thought about before I got the script when I was told when we were shooting, and we shot it in the summer. Obviously, that did kind of raise a couple questions for me because we're so used to shooting kind of around the same time in the year, um, which is winter, and so that definitely raised some questions. But no, I was completely in the dark. I had no idea it was going to be an off season. I had no idea it was even going to be the whole part one, part two. I had no idea about all that. No, it was very kind of I got the script and then figured it out as I read, kind of thing. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Um, you were just in LA. There's been a really cool tour where the Bulldogs are playing, they're playing hockey games, which is
yeah,
crazy. It's like a hockey
yeah,
tour.
yeah.
You know, the letterkenny world was already doing a lot of that stuff, right? So like, was there kind of an did you have kind of an idea that there could have been opportunities for you to be part of things like that, like when you signed on to Shoresy? Because letterkenny did the comedy tours. You know what I mean by that? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, I didn't try to get on this tour before. Well, kind of. So last year they did the first time they were doing this tour, and it was hockey games. And Jory Jordan, as everybody knows, does not play hockey in Shoresy.
no.
Whether he does in the background, who knows? In his own
Do you
personal
think
life,
he
I don't know.
does?
I hope so. I really hope. Maybe they can add that in a new season.
But wait,
But
there's a difference between you hoping. Like, do you think he played Do you think he was probably house league, right?
I think
House league player.
yeah, yeah. I think he to understand everything about it and be so obsessed with it. I think
Was
he
he
has
like that guy in house league that also had like a part-time job during school where he was a timekeeper and he knew all the stats and
100%.
everything? Yeah,
Oh, oh my God, 100%. You just described it perfectly.
it was
He'd be the
literally Jory
timekeeper.
Jordan.
He'd be the timekeeper, 100%.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, but the funny thing is, last year I was actually supposed to go and be Jory Jordan and do all of the interviews on the tour. So, like MC kind of everything. Um, and then because it was for charity, and I think there was I don't know what all the reasons were. It just didn't end up happening. Maybe just what didn't really fit kind of what was going on. And then this year when they announced the tour again, I kind of said I was like, hey, like I can play. Like I can play. Like I played my whole life. Like I can get out there and play. Like I don't know if that fits with what you're going for, but if you ever need a guy, let me know. And then of course I get a call a little while later saying, "Hey, we're gonna bring you out to LA, and you're gonna skate." So yeah, it was pretty surreal being out there. But I knew that Letterkenny did the live shows, but those were like kind of live skits.
Yes.
And so the interesting thing about the Shoresy tour is they're just playing hockey games. And
Yeah.
there is a little bit of, there's some fake fights and
There's some Harlem Globetrotters
yeah,
components. Yeah.
there's a handful of those moments, but really at the end of the day it is just a hockey game and they're trying to win. Like we're trying to beat them.
Yeah.
And so it's really unique and special in getting to meet all those fans and just see how many people we're actually reaching. It's pretty surreal.
Can you take me through, you know, finding out that your show is also going to be available like in the US? I mean, it's on Crave, but it's also on Hulu in the US. Like that kind of is what you're talking about, right? Where like the whole goal is to get as many eyes on the prize as possible. And, the US have been just eating up the show. Like what's that been like for you?
Yeah, it's like surprising, I think. I mean, it's so Canadian. Like it's
Yes.
not like it's just a show made in Canada or taking place in Canada. It's everything about it is Canadian. The dialogue, the jokes, the places, the references, it's all Canadian. And not just like it's like small town Canadian, like like Sudbury. Like nobody's ever heard of Sudbury before. I don't think I'd even heard of Sudbury before the Shoresy came out. So, it's shocking, really, that like people, as far as Los Angeles and other places in the world, like we're watched in, other countries as well, and it's very surprising. But I think like it just goes to show you that like, I think if you have a good idea and you execute on it well, that it doesn't matter what the content is, people are going to connect with it. And I think that's just proof of that.
You, were cast in Little House on the Prairie on Netflix. We obviously can't talk much about it, but just in general, you do a lot of these projects where you play different characters. And
Mhm.
I'm wondering if, like, is there things you bring from certain projects to other projects? You were also in Youngblood as well, or like, are they completely separate for you? Like, just in general.
I mean, Little House and Shoresy are polar opposite
Yes.
in terms of character and subject matter and
Yep.
like everything. It's complete opposite. So that was really a challenge for me, but I loved the challenge.
Yep.
It was difficult though, but no, I don't think I brought anything from Shoresy to Little House because and believe me, I tried. I tried to make connections and make my life a little easier and bring things, but I really couldn't because they were just so different. But that was really cool to kind of start from scratch.
Yep.
With Youngblood, however, that character was very much like my character in
Yeah.
Shoresy. He was kind of like a shit disturber a little bit and kind of part of my language. I don't know if I can swear,
What the
but
fuck, man?
I forgot. I didn't know. I forgot. And so yeah, those two characters were very similar. So that was very cool to kind of bridge those. But yeah, no, Little House was complete opposite.
And then I guess my last question too, in regards to like Shoresy, is it really was interesting to me when it like dived into the off season because it was really a hockey show. It was a show about a hockey team. It really focused on the hockey. It was very important to everyone involved that it was like hockey focused and it showed the games and the tournaments and everything. But now it's kind of a game changer where it had these seasons where it dives into Shoresy and his life off the like outside the rink and everything. And I'm wondering, like, when you were signed onto it, because like anytime you're on something that has to do with a sport or about music, you can look at it two ways, right? Like you're like on a music show that is a drama or a comedy, right? Or you're on like a horror movie that is about hockey or something like that, right? Like, is it still a hockey show for you? Like, will it always be like a hockey show first?
Yeah, it has to be. I think. Yeah, it'll always be a hockey show. And you know that season, the off season, I think it's a very unique season within the show. I don't think it'll be. I think it'll definitely, once it's all said and done, it'll be kind of a standout.
Yeah.
That season. Yeah, it's definitely a hockey show at heart, and will always be a hockey show no matter what. And especially with my character, I'm still always talking about hockey in some way.
For you, for sure. It's like that's why you're there.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So definitely a hockey show.
Dude, it's crazy, right? It feels like yesterday, the first time we were introduced to your character.
It's a long time ago, though.
The best reveal ever, though. I love that. Was like my favorite thing. My favorite thing was like the why, like when they're saying like you're doing some press, and they show you far away getting ready to go. That's my favorite. That's my favorite thing of all time.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I sometimes like I whenever a new season's coming out, I sometimes go back and I revisit old interviews and different scenes and stuff. And yeah, when I did that the other day, it does feel like it was yesterday, but it's also been a long time. Like
it's 5 seasons of Shoresy, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's a lot. So it never gets old though. I love doing it every time.
Christmas Day, new episodes of Shoresy on Crave in Canada. They're gonna look forward to that. Maclean, always a pleasure, man. Thank you so much for your time.
Dude, incredible. Thank you so much.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool things involving Maclean Fish and Popternative that's gonna be on the internet in the next couple of weeks. So they should look out for that stuff.
Indeed.
Which is great. Maclean Fish on Instagram if they want to keep up to date with you as well. This has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative for previous episodes. You can, of course, catch Maclean Fish's Jordan in Shoresy new episode, season 5, coming out on Christmas Day on Crave. Until next time, this is Maclean and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.